Before we get into this video, I need to say that this video is not monetized. I've removed all links from my description, and the only links I'll provide will be fundraisers for the victims affected by the events we're going to be talking about in this video. If you're not aware, tornadoes have been wreaking havoc across the United States over the past week, and they've destroyed a lot of people's lives. The two events that we will be talking about in this video will be the Amazon factory, where 6 people have lost their lives, and a candle factory in Kentucky where 8 people have lost their lives. The reason that we're looking at these two specific places is because what these two places have in common are workers both saying that their bosses would not allow them to leave, or if they did leave, they would lose their job. Everyone's just really upset, really sad. A lot of people are grieving. So let's keep that in mind as we go forward into the video. So like I said, there's a lot of outrage. This is a highly rated post on our anti-work titled "Amazon Killed People Last Night." Amazon knew we were facing life-threatening storms. We all knew they made the choice to send workers into giant unsecured warehouses, and now workers are dead. Amazon murdered people last night. So you have that, and there's this other one, a man that passed away there. His name was Larry Verdon. His last text to his wife was, "Amazon won't let us leave." This is an actual screenshot that I got from the Reddit post. He says, "I'm fueling up now. Well, I will be home after the storm." What do you mean? He says, "Amazon won't let us leave." She says, "All it's doing is lightning here. So what are you doing? I hope everything is okay. I love you." And that was it. It's absolutely heartbreaking, right? And it's really, really, really easy to see the Amazon won't let us leave and just be outraged, right? I don't blame them, right? I totally understand their anger. In both of these situations, they're very, very complex. So there are a few things we need to consider as we move forward in this. The first thing being the proper protocol for tornadoes. The proper protocol for tornadoes is not to run. Typically, it's to hide, find cover, protect yourself. But the question becomes, can a company prevent a grown adult from leaving? If they're not putting anyone else at risk, maybe there's some legal liability that they were trying to prevent, but it looks like it didn't work that way either. Now, there are some discussions about what it would have looked like if he had left. And I believe it was about 13 minutes. If we look at it realistically, takes probably about 5 minutes to walk to your car. Now you're down to 8 minutes left, and a tornado moves at about 30 miles an hour. If you're driving at 60, you could maybe dodge it, but it's night, it's dark, it's hard to see. You know, there's a lot of factors. But can a company prevent someone from doing that? That is the question. Personally, I think if you're not putting anyone else at risk, Fido's $8 Frisbee isn't worth making Amazon Prime's delivery deadline. No one's life is worth that. And I think we can all agree on this. What you'll see a lot of in the comments, they don't have to work there. They could have left. It's just really complicated because your bills don't go away when you quit. And so it's really difficult for people to just quit and still be able to make it, and then be able to have enough money in the meantime while they find a new job. There are a lot of things that could have been going through these people's minds as to whether to stay or to go, and I don't want to believe that management thought, I don't care if these workers lose their lives, let's go ahead and make them come in anyways. I really don't want to believe that. I'm not saying it's impossible, because there are some greedy jerks out there. There are some real POS people in management that shouldn't be. But I just don't want to believe that. I would like to believe a slightly less malicious version of that, which is probably something like,
"Yeah, it won't be that bad. We have the holiday rush right now. We got to make these deliveries on time. We got to be that regional warehouse."
This whole thing just could have been avoided if it just, closed down. The factory would still be gone. Sure, Amazon still has to absorb that material loss and pay their premium to get their insurance to cover the rest, I guess. But, whatever, it's Amazon. No one cares anyways. Amazon, you're rich. Cry me some crocodile tears. Now, what are they doing? What's happening now? Well, there's a statement from Amazon and their spokesperson, and as you would expect, they are in our thoughts and prayers, and we are continuing to support the community. So, at least they're in their thoughts and prayers, which, whatever. They did donate $1 million to the community affected so that people can apply for the money. But if you think about the thousands of people who lost everything, $1 million, here's a dollar for you, and here's a dollar for you, and 50 cents for you. It's not. Now for the candle factory. I know we're switching gears kind of abruptly here, but basically the workers at the candle factory are saying they won't let us leave, and management is saying we never said that. But of course management would say it's absolutely untrue, said Bob Ferguson, a spokesperson for Mayfield Consumer Products. We had a policy in place since COVID began. Employees can leave anytime they want to leave, and they can come back the next day. He also denied that managers told employees that leaving their shifts meant risking their jobs. There are a lot of employees giving their stories. Some of them say, I overheard managers telling someone directly that if you leave, your job will be at stake. Again, this is all he said, she said, at least for now, because the workers at the candle factory are suing the candle factory. They're saying, you forced us to work here. We should have been able to leave. Management is saying, we've had a policy since COVID that you can basically just sign out and leave. And now this has been confirmed by a worker who stayed there. He's like, yeah, typically you can just sign out and then come back and you're good to go. And he actually chose to stay and ended up getting injured, and now he's in the hospital. So it's a lot of back and forth. They do say they have evidence that can prove more than just he said, she said, and witness testimony, but their lawyers have declined to share that evidence. And again, I get everyone's anger and frustration with these corporations because it's always, they did this, and then the corporation's like, no, you. And again, all of this could have been avoided if people just were to have taken the weather more serious. I want to believe they could have left, like they weren't forced to stay and they actually could have gone, but the people around there and everyone seems like, you know, they're doing it, so I'm going to do it. And the peer pressure, it's hard to say what's going on in these people's minds. Were they handcuffed and held there? Were they threatened with their job? Because, you know, that's basically the same thing. It's, you know, you want to leave, but it's just, you got bills in the meantime. You can just quit, get a new job. It's easy to say, hard to do. Again, I've attached all the GoFundMes for the people affected. It's there's an actual tornado section for what's happening now on GoFundMe, so that's what I've included down there. That's my personal opinion on this topic, and my goal isn't always to just be first to a story so that I blow up first. That's especially not with something like this. It's so wrong. Like, I wanted to take a minute, think about it, process it, think about the factors, get people's stories. Let's make sure these people get what they deserve, you know? Yeah, it's just, it sucks. I wish I had a better conclusion to this video, but I don't. See you in the next one.